long are you in for?
I was supposed to get out this week or next week to go to a placement, but they gave me a sentence, a blended sentence. And then I got to go to a placement for 6 to 9 months.
The minute a kid walks in the door, something's broken. Any juvenile that gets locked up, there's some level of dysfunction.
Rosie came to us from a dogfighting case on the east side of Michigan. Rosie was actually bolted in a plywood box with her puppies. She was basically used to produce puppies to sell.
Typically, the kids that reside here in detention are kids who have committed felonies or high misdemeanors.
I was going in a downward spiral. I had a home invasion, possession of marijuana, just stuff like that.
I think the kids that we see here have a life that I have never seen. Violence, drugs, guns, and dog fighting.
Project BARC was a program that helps kids and dogs. So we work really closely with the detention center. For 3 weeks when they're in the program, the kids are having the dog in the juvenile detention center. They get a daily lesson in empathy. It's getting a dog that's going to be better trained into a new home. Most of them have been adopted within a week. And then it's also helping kids that are going to be back out in our community learn these lessons of responsibility and compassion and empathy. It's a gift that was just handed to us. 3 women who are occupational therapists that were working on their doctorate approached us, interested in the relationship with animals and kids and starting a program. They paved the ground. They had already approached the juvenile detention system, who was very interested in the program.
Project BARC was developed in collaboration with the 3 of us. One of the unique aspects is the detention center, the Humane Society, and occupational therapists work so closely. And it's a win-win situation for the residents. It's very therapeutic for the dogs.
Yeah. How long did it take you to bond?
Like a day.
A day.
Yeah.
What did you do to bond?
Pet it, loved it. I love that dog.
It was kind of difficult at first to try to find the appropriate dog for the program. Pit bulls do very well in an environment like that where the door slamming and stuff has radios that makes kind of staticky noise.
I look for somebody who maybe comes from a little rougher of a background, yet who will have something to gain from the program.
And then we interview. We actually bring a dog to the interview to see how the kids react with a dog. The thing that we really had to stress is that it's fun, but it's also work. You have to get up earlier in the morning to let the dog out. You have to pick up its poop.
Oh my gosh, it made me feel like I can do something with my life. Like, they picked me. Wow, that's pretty cool, you know? It's a good opportunity. Made me feel really special.
For these dogs, this is a vacation at the juvenile detention center. They're getting attention all the time. There's people loving on them. And for 3 weeks, they've had a home, albeit not a normal home.
He'd lay on me when we'd watch TV at night, and that was really cool.
Our staff has really bought into the idea of having the dog. In fact, at first there was a little bit of resentment that it was going to involve more work for our line staff. When they see that really it's the juvenile's dog and we just have to kind of supervise the juvenile taking care of the dog, we're not actually physically taking care of the dog, there was a lot more buy-in. The partnership between the occupational therapist and the Humane Society has been fabulous.
For these dogs, the shelter is their juvenile detention center. And the kids really relate to that idea of like, oh yeah, I know what that feels like, you know, obviously to be locked up.
He just really blossomed and really stepped up to the plate.
Sit.
Sniff it.
Patience. You gotta have a lot of patience with dogs. Because the first few times they won't listen to you, you gotta work your way through it. And if it's giving her a lot of treats, you gotta give her a lot of treats.
We teach them how to appropriately teach dogs. And what's interesting is the program that they implement at the juvenile detention is reward-based. And that's exactly what we do with our dogs. It's very reward-based training.
We have a few more.
The way I see it, the most important lessons that they learn when it really clicks, that there are so many similarities between the dog and them. We use a cognitive behavioral therapy, which is very much the same program that the kids use with the dog. When they can draw that correlation between, wait a minute, the coupons that you give me for good behavior are just like the treats that I give the dog for good behavior. And when the dog jumps up on me and I turn away and I ignore negative behavior, that's exactly what you guys do with our negative behavior. And when all of that falls into place and when it really clicks, that's the greatest lesson that they've learned. Is it doesn't really matter what my past was. What I need is some love and some compassion and some empathy. And wow, look what 3 weeks worth has done with the dog. Think what it can do with me. And it's just fabulous, just absolutely incredible.
Many kids learn to take care of another being. They became really protective of the dog too, and became really responsible.
I take her out at 7:30, 11:45. Shit. And after school, I have a lot of time with her.
What about you? What are you going to do in the future?
Oh, I'm gonna get a dog when I get out from the Humane Society. Teach her what the Humane Society taught me. But in the future, I'm just gonna stay out of trouble and get back on track.
One lesson they may talk about empathy. They do an apology letter to the dog, apologizing for the way that its life has been so far, taking an account for what the dog's been through, and apologizing to the dog even though it wasn't their fault.
And we'd have to write like how the dog felt or what we thought the dog was feeling or how that situation should be changed. And that I thought that was really cool because we actually thought about how we can change.
This is a sorry letter to Rosie, reading as written. I have wrote this letter for Rosie. I think it's disgusting and wrong how you were treated in the past. Your old owners, or shall I say monsters, never loved you or cared about you.
The part of the program that's important is that the kids learn to have empathy. The program doesn't change their entire life in their home situation. There's no way I would stand here and say that. But what I'm saying is it honestly works with them on their emotions and just having feelings for others.
The responsibilities that I have is a daily dog log that the kids fill out that we fax over to the Humane Society every night. Just a daily what the dog is doing. Every single night is, I don't want this dog to go. I don't want this dog to go.
They go through this program and learning how to take care of a dog and actually caring for someone and knowing that someone genuinely cares for you too, it makes a big difference. This young man had some issues. I mean, and he still may have some to deal with, but he has come a long way.
I think they really bond with the dog, and I think they really learn the value of another life and be responsible. And I think that's something that they can take for the rest of their lives.
I used to have some friends, and he'd have his dog and another dog fight.
How'd you feel when you saw that?
I really didn't know no better until now. I was going to these BARC lessons, and now I know what the empathy and sympathy, what a dog really has, what a dog really feels.
What would you do if you saw it again?
I tell him to stop. Now I take the dog, or I'll call the Humane Society, the police. She ready.
Any issues with getting a pit bull?
No.
It's a good question. I mean, we talked about it for a while.
They get a bad rap because of what society has done to them.
Hello, everyone.
So this is Marcellus. This is who's been training.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Ashley. Sorry,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, great for you. Thank you for helping.
Thank you for adopting me.
Yeah, we're excited.
It's also, I think, really emotional for them to have to say goodbye to the dog. A lot of them ask, could we adopt it?
So how does all this make you feel? A little tugging at the heart?
Oh, it's heartbroken, but she can move on to better things now.
We have so many people here that want to do introduction.
I'm Dan Peterman, supervisor here at the tent. And I'm Josh, and
I'm Ashley.
And we're adopting Oreo.
I'm Marcel. I'm the dog trainer.
We all take a seat.
I'm so proud of him. He has done a very good job with the dog. And one thing that's happened out of this, he would never smile. See this face? He never smiled. He always had this look, and I couldn't understand why he don't ever smile. He started working with the dog, and I started seeing more and more smiles. So I was happy about that. Can we see one now? Good.
And let's do a sit right in the middle.
Sit.
Job, and you move right through. Nice job.
Sure. Oreo.
There you go. Thank you, buddy.
Girl.
Congratulations. Go ahead. Give it. Give it.
Can I give you a hug? Thank you.
You guys are getting a very well trained.
Yeah, you helped us out.
Oreo gone now. I can't take her outside no more and play with her. But I'm pretty glad that she's gone, though. She can move forward now. Now it's time for me to move forward.
Ooh, she tooted. Oh, you stinky butt. Good girl. Oh.